It was the beginning of autumn. Mom and Dad were sitting in the front seat of their new car. Maya and her little brother Levi were sitting in the back seat. Dad was driving the car. The weather was beautiful. It wasn't too hot or too cold. 4 bikes suddenly raced across them. Dad looked in the side mirror. He saw the bikes turning back towards them. Dad sped up the car. The bikes trailed them. Dad told Mom, Maya, and Levi to hold themselves tight on the seat. The road was clear. Bikes were left far behind, but they still followed the car. Dad kept his focus on the bikes. Mom was worried about Dad and her children. Maya was concerned for her parents and Levi. Levi, only 5 years old, had no idea what was happening. Levi noticed 2 large rocks rolling down the hill. He told Maya to look outside. She looked outside, and her eyes opened wide. It was too late to tell Mom and Dad. The rocks were about to hit the car. Maya wrapped her arms around Levi quickly. She gripped him tightly. The rocks hit the car and it got crushed. Mom and Dad died at that moment. Maya was injured. Fortunately, Levi remained safe in Maya's arms. When Maya opened her eyes, she saw a wooden roof above her. She tried to move her body, but couldn't. She moved her head slowly to the sides. She saw 2 broken chairs and dried up blood on the floor. Suddenly, the door opened. A thin woman came inside and stared at Maya. "You have broken your arms and legs, little girl," said the woman without any expression of pity for her. "What? How? Who are you?" Maya spoke in a weak voice. "Don't speak. Don't say anything. You'll know everything once you recover your injuries and get back on your feet," said the woman in a serious tone. 3 seasons passed and summer arrived. Maya had recovered from her injuries. The woman told her that her parents were dead and her little brother had been taken away by some people. Maya was sure those motorcyclists had taken her little brother Levi away that day. She just hoped wherever he was he remained safe and healthy. She missed her brother a lot. She had no idea who those men were and where they had taken her brother. She wanted to look for him. But it didn't seem possible. She was too young. A village woman brought Maya to her house on the day of the accident. She told Maya her husband and 3 little boys died long ago. Since then, she had lived alone in that house away from the villagers. She hated the villagers because they killed her family. She never told Maya why they killed her husband and sons. One day Maya went out to get some water from the stream. It was very hot. While pouring water into the tub, she saw some men coming her way. She left the tub there and hid behind the leafless tree. She peeked at the men as they walked towards the house. The woman was not inside. She had gone to the market that day. Maya felt relief. The men knocked at the door. When no one answered, they broke it open. She watched them move in front of the house. Suddenly the smoke came out of the house. She watched the house burning and the men going back to the village. She couldn't believe her eyes. She stood still behind the tree, while her eyes captured the tragic scene. She thought why life had to go this bad. She had nowhere else to go. She did not look elsewhere. Her eyes did not blink as she looked at the burning house. Suddenly she heard a few steps hurrying toward her. It was 2 of those men. She got terrified. She quickly turned around and began running. The 2 men ran behind her. Maya could not run fast. One of the men grabbed her arm from behind. She quickly turned around and threw a stone at his eye. The man screamed. The other man grabbed her head and shook her hard. She fell to the ground. The man grabbed her arm and made her stand again. He asked Maya where was the woman that lived in the house. Maya lied to him and said that she was dead. The man asked her when she died. She told him that the woman died in winter. She went to the mountain and never came back. The man did not inquire more and left her arm. Both of them then left. Maya took a deep breath. Her body was still shaking. She sat beside the tree and waited for the woman to come. The night passed and the woman did not return. Maya went to the village. She searched every corner but couldn't find her anywhere. Another day passed. She thought maybe the woman had run away somewhere and wouldn't come back. Maya thought she should also leave the village. That day she got inside a truck going to a big city. After 2 days' journey, she reached there. There in the city, after much difficulty, she found some work. She met a housekeeper whose name was Eliza. She was a middle-aged woman. She had been working as a housekeeper for 25 years. She pitied Maya and brought her home. She introduced her to the house owners. Maya was just 12 years old at that time. They allowed the housekeeper to keep her. Her job was to assist the housekeeper in her tasks. 12 more years passed. Everyone in the house was happy with her. But Maya was not happy. All these years she kept thinking of her little brother. She missed Levi a lot. She loved drawing. She had drawn a lot of pictures of Levi. She colored his eyes with passion. His amber eyes looked like some fire burning inside. Everyone in the house asked her about the child she liked drawing so passionately. But Maya never told them. She wanted to keep her sorrow within. It was precious to her. Only the housekeeper knew that the little kid was her brother. Maya shared a lot with her. It was the middle of winter. Outside, the fog covered the whole city. The morning bell rang. Maya loved the winter mornings. She got out of bed, took a bath, dressed well, and went down the stairs to the kitchen. But there were no maids in the kitchen. She searched the whole house. Everything was in its place. She stopped for a moment. She ran towards the small table in the right corner of the hall. There was a calendar on it. It was the 4th of January. She looked around and thought they were all outside in the garden. She made her way through the corridors to the garden. The servants were all sitting on the ground, heads down. The owners of the house were bound to the chairs. She counted 10 men in long black coats. They had guns in their hands. They were all fully dressed. She couldn't see their faces. She was hiding behind the garden's entrance gate. After 10 minutes, one of the men raised his hand in the air. The other men all started shooting at the servants. The servants were all dead on the ground. The house owners' faces turned red with fear. 2 men surrounded them. They were asking them something. Maya dashed inside the garden where the men stood, and the servants were dead. The men looked at her. The one with the gun pointed at her, but the other grabbed his hand. The house owners yelled at Maya, telling her she shouldn't have come here. Maya said she wanted to help. She pleaded with the men not to kill the owners. The man who had previously pointed his gun at her became enraged. He removed his mask and said, "We have no time for emotional drama, girl. You have 2 options, flee or die here with your masters." A voice came from behind, "Levi. Stop. Let the girl go." Her alluring beauty captivated them. They couldn't take their eyes off her. The thought of hurting her never crossed their minds. Maya locked her gaze on him. She inquired as to his name. The man became even angrier and told her to shut up and leave. Maya insisted on him telling her his name. He yelled angrily, "My name is Levi." Maya asked him if he had 2 moles on the back of his right hand. The man became perplexed. He inquired as to how she knew this. She introduced herself as Maya. She told him that she used to have a younger brother named Levi, and that they were separated in a car accident. She said that some men kidnapped her brother. Silence prevailed. Levi did not say anything. The other men were all gazing at the 2 of them. Levi said in a firm tone, "I don't know you. I don't have a sister. My parents were not killed in a car accident. I don't have any moles on my right hand. Just run away and don't show me your face again. Now." He told a lie. Maya recognized him as her long-lost brother. She remained silent and averted her gaze. She took small steps, looked at the house owners, and went inside. She was sure he would not kill them now that he knew she lived with them.